Hey, what's up, guys? Carl got back in the video, and today I want to do my What If series. What if Naruto was a girl? Part 16. So, in the last part, in part 15, there, we do see Shikamaru there was talking to Lady Tsunade there, saying about mostly like he does in the original series. Tsunade was giving him the information of where Sasuke is at and stuff. And he's like, well, this is a drag and stuff like that for it. Tsunade was saying something about, he's like, there's one Kunichi who might actually get him back in the village there. And he's like, wait. Mostly Shikamaru was like, oh, this is a drag. I have to have a girl on my team and stuff like that. And he's like, and then mostly Tsunade was like saying, she's like, oh, just shut it there. She's mostly really good there, and she might actually help your four-man team there. And mostly it was telling they go over Naruto there and actually convince Naruto to join his team there. So it plays out the same with mostly gathering up the team there. Sakura comes up and then she's like, oh, please bring Sasuke back, Naruto. And then Naruto's like, don't worry, Sakura, I got this. Believe it there. And then they mostly go off to the thing there. So it plays out the same with their fights there. Mostly Naruto is taking on Kibimaru there, and mostly getting pushed like Naruto did in the original series. Technically, Lee comes in, saves the day, and mostly kind of did. He's like, I will help you, Naruto. He's like, well, we can prove this, and then mostly, Lee just knocks Kimaru back. He's like, go, Naruto, and stuff like that. I can handle this there. She's like, yeah, right, and stuff. So technically, Lee was taking on Kimaru. Gar helped, and they mostly defeated they defeated the Sound 4. Then Naruto and Sasuke were going at it there. He's like, mostly Sasuke was like, Naruto, and then she was like, Sasuke, and then mostly they collide there. Jiraiya was saying to technically they take back Naruto back to the village there, and mostly let her getting covered up there, and mostly they were saying something about she was too weak there. She's like, I'm always too weak, and I can't bring Sasuke back to the village there. She's like, I will be a clutching ninja and stuff like that. I will bring him back and stuff. And then she was starting to break down crying there. And Jiraiya was like saying, well, you need to be way stronger in this there. We need to train and stuff. So she's like, right. So technically they go out of the village there, and that's where part 15 ends. So we got technically done with part 1 of Naruto. So let's go into Shippuden. We're going into Shippuden there. So technically 3 years have passed. Technically Naruto comes home there. She's like, I'm home and stuff like that. Mostly Naruto in this version. What's her clothes in Shippuden? I think it might be Naruto's orange jacket there with technically with shorts. There, I might still see that there. Naruto, like Naruto's jacket when he had in Shippuden, and mostly she's wearing also shorts also. Technically, I think that's where her outfit's gonna be in it there and stuff. She got a little bit taller and stuff. So she mostly walks around there, and mostly Sakura's like, oh, Naruto, you're back to the village there? And she's like, oh, hey there, Sakura, and stuff like that. And technically, she's like, oh, I'm pretty happy you're back home, Naruto. How you did there and stuff like that. I think in this version there, stuff might change a little bit there. Konohamaru comes in and does he's like, hey boss, you're back in the village and stuff. She's like, oh yeah, hey there, Konohamaru. He's like take my new sexy jutsu, and then mostly turns into the his mostly Konohamaru turns in sexy jutsu. Technically, Naruto there, she's a little bit older. She's more of a woman in this one. Technically, she's a little bit older there. She doesn't have like the childlessness things like what Naruto did. And then he's like, and she's like, "What do you think, boss?" and stuff. And he's like, and then mostly Konohamaru or mostly Naruto's like, "Oh man, Konohamaru, you can't do these jutsus no more. That kind of really offends me there and stuff like that." He's like, "Really, boss? You do that and stuff like that?" He's like, "Well, maybe for old time's sake." She does her mostly Naruto turns into mostly like an older version of herself. She's like, "Oh, what do you think there?" And then Sakura beams Naruto in the face. She's like, "Boom!" He's like, "Ah!" And then mostly she transforms back. She's like, "What are you doing there, Naruto?" He's like, "I thought you act more mature there. Why you're doing these stupid tricks?" I see that there. She's like, "Dang, Sakura, you kind of, you're strong as hell." I might see that happening. Technically, Naruto going across there. I think Neji actually eyes Naruto there, not like Hinata did in the original series. There, I think Neji does this to Naruto, seeing how she kind of grew and stuff like that. He actually falls in love with her. He was mostly disappointed in his team there. He's like, "Well, I'm gonna compare this," and then they see Naruto there, and mostly Neji just kind of like, and then mostly I might see his face turn red. I might see Neji's face turn red. He's like, "Holy crap, she's fucking hot," and stuff like. That's what Neji is thinking there, and then she's like, "Oh, hey guys there," and stuff, and then mostly Kiba there. He's like, "What do you?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's you, Naruto." He's like, and mostly he kind of let, or not Kiba, but well, yeah, Kiba, yeah, Kiba there, yeah, Kiba mostly flirts with Naruto there, not Neji, Kiba does, and then he's like, and stuff like that, and then Hinata's like, "Neji, mostly Hinata might be in this version there. She might say, 'Oh, hey there, Naruto,' and stuff," and he's like, and then she's like, "Oh, hey there, Hinata," and stuff. And she's like, "I'm pretty happy you got back in the village there and stuff," and stuff like that. She's like, "Yeah, I did there," and stuff like that. And mostly Kiba there kind of has like a red face there. He's like, Naruto, and then he's like, "Wait, what?" And then mostly he's like, and mostly when he has the red face there, technically Naruto walks away there. Technically, Yata was actually saying, she's like, "Neji, or Kiba, you actually like Naruto there?" He's like, "No, I thought she's my rival and stuff like that. I don't like her and stuff." She's like, "Well, the way you're kind of blushing there, you kind of like her and stuff." I might see that happening there. I think I think Naruto might be way prettier, and all the other Kunoichi in her village there. If that was actually the one there. So they do the bell test there. It was pretty, I think they do the bell test. Bell test plays out the same. I think that's what's going to happen. Akashi uses shotgun again in the bell test there. There is actually one funny quote on there. Mostly we all know Jiraiya was training Naruto in those 3-year time skip there. Like Naruto, like he does in the original series. This time, I think Tsunade actually scolds Jiraiya. I might see this happening. Tsunade might actually scold Jiraiya there. She's like, "What are you doing there, there and stuff? What you did for 3 years there? I hope you didn't pester that girl and stuff." And he's like, "Calm down, Tsunade. I trained her the best I could there." That's what he said. He's like, "I hope you didn't peeked on her when." I hope you didn't do any pervy stuff on her and stuff like that. That's what he's like. Don't. He's like, "I never done that. Why I be doing that, Tsunade?" You never know. Maybe if Naruto was a girl there, maybe he might have done something bad with her. But I don't 100% know on that. But yeah, they do the bell test there. They mostly Naruto using her Rasengan there, using the Nine Tails claws there, and then mostly they got the bells like, and then both girls get the bells like, look, we got Sensei and stuff like that, and they go, oh yeah, and they pass. Um, Mostly they get a ward from Gara getting captured there, so mostly Gara gets captured there. Then Narco kind of like hears this there saying the Kazi has been captured, and then she runs in like Naruto does in the original series. I might see that might play out the same there, except Narco is like, what actually happened to Gara there and stuff like that, and they're like, oh yeah, calm down and stuff like that, Narco, and technically she's like, well, I need to do this there, and we need to get him there and stuff like that. So I think it plays out the same there. They go to the Konkoro gets his ass kicked by Sadori there. He still gets his ass kicked by Sadori there. They go to the land of the land of wind there. Go into the sand village. They run into Tamari. Mostly Sakura there. Actually was actually saying something now. I think Sakura might be a little bit more worried in this version than she was in the original. For Naruto's sake, because in the original Naruto, she was definitely worried about Naruto there, about the tail beasts, and mostly fucking Granny Chino was actually saying something about all the tail beasts and their Jinchuriki, all that stuff there. So yeah, that's what they were actually she was saying, and she was mostly because she's like, wait, Naruto's gonna die? She's like, she's one of my best friends there, and then he's like, if the Akatsuki take care of her and stuff like that, or take her there, that's when she's gonna die. And mostly Naruto's like, let's go and stuff like that. So technically they run into Itachi. Itachi plays out I think the Itachi thing plays out the same. I think Itachi plays out the same there. He's like, Naruto, please come with me and stuff like that. And then mostly Sakura comes in. She's like, I'm not gonna let you take her. She's like, I'm gonna fin her. I'm gonna fin you, Naruto. I'm not gonna let you take her there. And then technically, he's like, you're just in my way. Give me the girl there. Give me Naruto Uzumaki there. And then she's like, fat chance. Technically, Naruto. I think Naruto and Akashi defeat it there, and then they're like, wait, what happened to Sasuke and all that stuff? That still happens. And he's like, well, no time by and stuff like that. That's what he actually fucking said. And then mostly he turns into crows there, flies off, and they go to get after Gara there. So Gara was getting the tail beast distracted there. That still happens. Sakura breaks down the boulder there to break in. They take the tags off, and mostly Sakura technically breaks down the boulder. Sadara and Chio there are gonna fight Sadori. That fight's gonna play out the same like the original story. Mostly Datara there saying, Nah, you want to get Sasuke? Come at me, little Nine Tails, you little girl fox. And then Naruto's like, you bastard! And then she's like, chases after him, and he's like, and mostly Akashi's like, no, Naruto. He's like, handle this there, and then mostly they technically handle it. Naruto's technically chasing down Datara at this point. She's technically chasing down Datara at this point there, and Datara technically stops there. He's like, come at me, little Nine Tail there, you little girly Nine Tails. And then she's like, damn it, you. And then mostly the chakra of the Nine Tails is mostly spreading out on Naruto there. Mostly she's like, give Sasuke back. and stuff like that. And technically, Datara. I think the Datara fight plays out the same. Kashi uses Kamui, knocking his arm off. Naruto technically goes insane, like Naruto did in the original. He puts the paper on the forehead, mostly draining the chakra from it there, and then technically, yeah, and then they mostly escape. Technically, Akashi, or mostly Gara was mostly Helen with Granny Chio there. That plays out the same, but mostly Naruto's mostly a girl. Naruto's mostly a girl in this version, so he kind of feels more like teary and stuff. She's like, I can't let him die. These bastards that screwed him over, blah 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 and stuff. And then mostly Grand Change is like, come here, Naruto. I'm gonna give him my hand. And they mostly revive Gara there. They thank them. They go back to the village there, and that's where the what if ends. So yep. Comment, rate, and response to Tutorials. We like to learn from else. Please subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all your lectures. Correspond to Tutorials. Account. Add P.